Well, welcome everybody to our 9th Corona Corner chat. Last week, I was delighted that David Tull, our Oakland University Board of Trustees chair, was able to visit with you. And actually, what was good for me was it gave me a week off. But I can't believe that we've been chatting this way for 9 weeks already. Well, I hope that everybody is staying healthy and safe. And now that spring is here, that you've been having an opportunity to get out and to enjoy the beautiful weather. Well, you know that this is actually college decision time. And actually, the National College Decision Day has been pushed ahead to June 1st. And the reason for that is because up to 40% of prospective college students still have not made a decision about whether or not they're going to delay going to college this fall. And you know, it's not really surprising that they still haven't made a decision because so many students these days fear what college is going to be like this fall. We do know that we still will not have a vaccine for the COVID-19 virus. And so many of the students and their parents fear what college will be like this fall. And of course, many universities are still uncertain about what their plans will be. Some students are rightly fearful about their health and their safety. And of course, they don't know whether it makes sense for them to go to school out of state, especially if they enroll for a college out of state with hefty tuitions, and if it means that they'll be at home with their parents doing online education. You know, I do realize that these are frightful and scary times for many students, for their parents, for our faculty, and for our staff. And of course, for us here in Michigan, it's particularly frightening because, of course, we've been a hotbed for so many COVID infections. But if you're thinking about a gap year, how would you fill a gap year? You can't travel. There's a lot of record unemployment, so there's not a very good chance that you'd be able to work. And even the Peace Corps has been shuttered this year. So rather than delay college this year, my recommendation is that this is the perfect time for you to go to college. And I believe that what you should do is think about going to college near home. And Oakland University is the perfect place for you to consider going to school, because we think that Oakland University is the university of choice. One of our strengths is that for many of you, we're near home for so many. Also, we tailor our classes. We have small classes. We give students personalized attention. We have great advisors who really help our students. We have wonderful coaches. We have great counseling. We have terrific mentors, wonderful internships. And when you graduate, more than 97% of our students are employed right here in Southeast Michigan. Now, I know that many students are concerned about what the fall semester is going to look like. And we've announced that here at Oakland University, we will start the fall semester in a hybrid way. What do we mean by that? What we mean is that we hope that we will have face-to-face instruction as much as possible. There may be some classes that will still be remote, but for many of them, we hope that we will be able to have regular face-to-face instruction. But you know, life is going to be different. We will have social distancing. Chances are good we will be wearing masks, and yes, there will be some changes too. I do expect that we will have COVID-19 testing. We may have to do tracing if we detect that individuals are positive and will probably have serology or antibody testing as well. Our classes will be distributed so that we will have very few students per classroom. Our athletics will be changed too. We probably will not have a lot of spectator sports, certainly not at the beginning of the year. Our primary goal is to ensure the health and safety of our campus. And we have a great track record in that regard, because just last week it was announced that Oakland University is the safest campus in Michigan and the third safest of all universities in the United States. So we've had a long history of ensuring the safety of our campus, and we will continue to uphold that campus safety record, and it's of the utmost importance to all of us. But there's another really good reason why I think that you should consider going to college this fall, and that is this. This is your moment. You know, in the few years before I went to college, John F. Kennedy started the Peace Corps because he believed that students all across America should serve the common good. Well, in this day and age, this is your moment, fighting this global pandemic. And I believe that this is your great opportunity now to go to college and make a difference. You know, your generation can do what my generation did in making a difference in the world. At Oakland University, we've mobilized an incredible group of faculty, staff, and most importantly, students to make a difference. If you're a student here, in addition to getting a great education, you could work in a laboratory where you might discover the next and most important cure for the COVID-19 virus. Maybe you would participate in being a part of the food distribution effort to feed thousands of needy families. Maybe you'd work in one of our 3D laboratories to help make a face shield. Or maybe you'd work in our costume shop in our School of Music, Theater, and Dance and make a face mask. Regardless, I know you'll be doing something really important. So students, I want to assure you that you should not sit on the sidelines. This is the year to go to college. We're going to need every ounce of your knowledge, of your energy, of your competence, and your expertise. And when this crisis ends, and I promise you that it will, the best jobs in America and the best jobs in Michigan are going to go to people who have college degrees. So whether you choose to go to Oakland University or to another college, I encourage you, go to college, get a degree, and get skills. And when you do, in addition to getting a great education, you're also going to be able to contribute to fighting this pandemic and making the world a better place. Now, I always like to tell you in my chats about some other things that you might be doing during this time that you're at home, spending time with your family and perhaps other loved ones. So I know that I've shared with you over the time that we've been together a little bit about my own family. Some of you know that I'm the oldest of 4 children, and I have 3 younger brothers, all of whom are more talented and more brilliant than I am. 2 of them are physician scientists, and one of them is a rabbi. So my brother, who's a rabbi, has to talk like this to his congregation online, and he actually gives 2 talks a week to his congregation. So I listen to him pretty regularly, and I have to say that my father listens to both of us. I will admit that I'm my father's favorite daughter, but I'm probably not my father's favorite speaker, because every week my father gives a report on how his children do. He's very critical, and my brother usually gets the best report from the two of us. But I listen to my brother in order to try to see if I can get an A. Usually my brother gets the A and I get the A minus. So I'm trying to get better. So as I listened to my brother speak a couple of weeks ago, he talked about a book that he had recently read, and of course it inspired me to read as well. So interestingly, he had recently read a book that I read many, many years ago, actually when I was in high school. And I want to share it with you because I reread it again just since I last visited with you. And that was Albert Camus' The Plague. And I just thought it was so fascinating that I wanted to share it with you as well, because I think some of you might want to read it too. That book was published, I believe, in 1947. And it's so fascinating to read it again today in the context of this global pandemic that we're experiencing. It's unbelievable how Camus wrote about a time when the plague, which at the time was actually the bubonic plague, was envisioned. And it's almost like living today with the COVID-19 pandemic crisis. People talked about what it was like to be in quarantine, how other people treated people who were infected, how society was impacted, what it was like to be feared, what the government was like, and then what it was like to begin to reopen the society. So if you are looking for something interesting to do, I encourage you to think about rereading it if you've read it before. And students, if you haven't read it yet, I think you might find it quite interesting to read Camus' The Plague. So I'm going to leave you with that thought today, and I look forward to seeing you again next week.